Does the media do more damage to the real estate market than current economic conditions?
Where do you get your information?
Sensationalism sell. Yeah, they're not going to print anything that doesn't grab eyeballs. And that's where a lot of people stop. They read the headlines and they don't go any further.
If you're not doing your due diligence when it comes to real estate, then you likely are put off by things you are hearing and reading recently. There's so much that goes into it that you must not only read the entire article, but you need to understand the numbers, realize who is targeting you, and get a trustworthy advocate to help you see what really is going on for your situation. Hal, James, JT, and Jay are ready to help you make sense of it all.
So it would seem that we're going to have a spicy conversation today, Hal. That was a great one.
Yes.
Slow County Real Estate with Mr. Hal Swayze. He's here. How are you?
I've been eating a lot of good salsa. So
A lot of spiciness.
Yeah.
I just need
with,
chips.
with
We got
tequila.
the salsa. Yeah.
And you hear his voice, Mr. Pete. How are you, sir?
I'm excellent. Thanks for asking.
Yes, sir. And then the man holding an iPad over there, Mr. JT. How are you, sir?
Oh, happy to be here. Hope to help the team win.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
Very cutting edge with his iPad there. I like that.
And then the guy looking at the screen,
Tech.
the main man, Mr. Jeff. How are you?
Good. Easing off on the spicy food.
He's,
Yeah.
I love
he was
spicy.
covering his
It's gotta
mouth
be
because he was
spicy.
laughing at us. Okay.
You know, Hal, I was just thinking about it. Your celebrity status is going up. We get phone calls now. They only want to deal with you because they see you on your videos and they hear you on the podcast. So we're excited that you're a big time celebrity.
Overnight success.
32 years?
32
Overnight
years. Yeah, becoming an overnight success.
Yeah, no, I heard Sharon say that there's a guy that wants to talk to you just because he saw you on the video, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So a new buyer. That was nice.
Yeah, a new buyer. Yeah, so it's working out well.
Does he say, I don't want to talk to anybody else, I just want to talk to Hal?
I think so.
Really?
I think that's what he said.
Can I get more people on the
No,
videos
wants
and
to
the
talk to
podcast?
Hal.
He was actually very appreciative because Sharon picked up the phone.
Yeah.
Great, because that's, nice. And my partner Graham, called him right away.
Yeah.
Because I was in
Yeah.
a meeting. So he got called and then I called him. So he goes,
Yeah.
so he knows we're a team.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of the reason why we do it. Plus,
Yeah.
the amazing production of the video is what really helped, I think,
That
is what he said.
exactly
He's what he
That
said.
guy's handsome.
Yeah.
He was searching for a bonus on the last episode. wasn't he?
Right.
Dakota actually said that my color was bad this last one. He said, Hal looks kind of flushed. I'm like, thanks, Dakota. I appreciate that.
My color.
Yeah,
From your production.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
from the
Yeah.
video. He said that you looked a little pale, but I just
Pale?
You haven't been to Mexico for a while, so that's
Well,
probably
you
it.
probably were not choking me or something like that. I just,
Dakota is very constructive.
We love Dakota.
We do. He does it in such a polite way.
he is very subtle with that. Yes.
You bring up something here that many years ago I called Hal and I wanted to look at a property and I wanted to do business with Hal. I don't think we were friends yet, just an acquaintance. I go to the meeting at the house and somebody else showed up rather than Hal. And I was a little taken back by that. It was one of his team members. And when he explained to me afterwards that the person that showed up was better at helping buyers than he is, I realized that he was helping me by not showing up. And so what I've learned about Hal and his team is he's the guy that makes everything happen around here. But he has he has a great player at every position in the company that can do certain things better than him. That's a sign of a good leader. So the fact that he wanted to talk to you is great, and also that you have somebody there that can help him just as well, if not better than you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic for the client.
You don't want me stitching up many patients. Right?
Jay, what are we talking about today?
Where do you get your information? Who are you talking to?
Okay.
Because the source matters. I mean, just because you read it on the internet doesn't make it true.
Wait, everything on the internet's not true?
No, God.
Uh-oh.
JT, I'm sorry to tell you that.
Yeah.
Just because someone has the ability to publish anything they want.
You're killing me.
No.
Because here, I got this today. I have this news feed that goes to 45 million people. And the headline is, this city in California had the biggest jump in foreclosures in California this year. I didn't know we were talking about foreclosures for the last 10 years.
What's it say?
So this
Yeah.
article says, as property values have exploded in some areas, property taxes have as well. It can make these homes unaffordable even if the owner has a low mortgage. The starting revelation from the report is that the city has seen a significant surge in foreclosures in California, and number 10 in the country with 4.3 out of 10,000 housing units facing this predicament. Now, the city is not our city. The city, I told you guys earlier, this is the 50th anniversary of American Graffiti. City is Modesto, 250,000 people, probably 60,000 units. Rate is 4.3 of 10,000 housing units. So they have 60,000 units. That would mean they have probably 25 foreclosures. And it went up 10, which put them in this category as surge in foreclosure. and I'm thinking, 45 million people are reading this crud. I can't buy a house. I don't want to be foreclosed upon.
Is that what you call a spin?
So that's to your point, Jay. Where do you get your information?
Sensationalism sells. Yeah, they're not going to print anything that doesn't grab your eyeballs. And that's where a lot of people stop. They read the headlines and they don't go any further. If you were to read the article like you did, John, you'd be like, wait a minute, we're talking about 10 more foreclosures over an entire year? And those are people don't. They get foreclosed on because they quit making their payment. That's a choice. They lost their job. They got divorced. They decided to move. It doesn't have anything to do with property values.
And are these actual foreclosures, or like if you go to online and say, they'll call it a foreclosure, that just means somebody's delinquent and they filed for it. Doesn't mean they're going to not make that payment.
Jay made the point, I'm worried about the 45 million people.
In the beginning of the article, it says high prices and property taxes. What does that have to do with anything?
The California housing market has long been a puzzle. Skyrocketing prices, record low inventory, and rising property taxes have created a perfect storm. As the affordability crisis deepens, an unavoidable consequence looms: a surge in foreclosures. It surged 10 in Modesto, which means it's less than 1/20th of 1%.
Now, nothing against Modesto, but I'd probably let them foreclose on my house.
So I'd walk away.
Oh, be careful.
Sorry, I got in-laws. I got in-laws in Modesto.
There goes my
I have to be
word.
careful here.
Yeah, this podcast was number 2 in Modesto.
Yeah, it's going to go down.
People looking to relocate.
It's going to go down. It's going to go down 50% to number 3.
Wow.
I love numbers. I love them because they don't lie, but you can make them tell just about any story you want.
The media people, they got to try. I mean, their worth is based on getting clicks on the article. So they got to do something scintillating, like using words to grab your attention. And that it worked in this case. It got your attention, didn't it?
Boy, did it.
So the other headline, here's the flip side. So 60,000 people, 25 foreclosures.
Yeah.
So 59,975 people are making their payments just fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is what percentage of 60,000? More than 99.
It's 99.992.
Oh, here you go. Nice. Boom.
Well, I kind of made that up, but that's close enough.
Yeah. So it's most. Most of them are okay.
Most are making it.
Yeah.
All right. So
No, that just ticked me off when I read that. It really did.
That's too bad.
Because, our public, the people that we work with, the people we're here to serve and help make good decisions about their money when it comes to real estate, are reading this stuff. So where do you go to get good, solid, professional advice when it comes to real estate?
I think we know somebody on the podcast here
Yeah.
that can help you out.
Well,
Well,
all of
Well,
us have experience.
and to that point, not everybody's created equal. Even if you're licensed, there are people that have been in the business a very long time. There's business professionals that have business acumen that can run teams. Hell, you're doing a great job here, and I would be remiss not to mention that because that's a truism. I see a lot of real estate professionals, and it's an interesting job. You're a sales guy, you're a business owner, you're marketing, you're customer service, all of these things bound into one.
Can we say psychologist?
we'll just call you a shrink.
Okay, yeah, calming influence.
Yeah. But the information that you're in, the information that you receive is predicated on what you experience every single day. And I think that is way different than somebody who's trying to. The person that wrote that article is probably just combing through every piece of data they can find that's been written, whether that's factual or not, whether it's a perspective or a fact, and then they're taking that data to create something. I highly doubt. How did the writer of that article call you and ask you about your experience?
No.
No. And who did they call and talk to? Do they have the experience to actually be what I'll consider an expert? And here's a question: How are you an expert in Sacramento?
Heck no.
Yeah. So, where did she talk to a real estate professional
She doesn't quote anybody in the real estate industry. She's Realtor.com research analyst.
Oh.
That makes it even worse.
Why?
Well, she should know better. We've made our point that this particular article would tick off most of us if we read it.
Well,
It's
here's
just over dramatizing something that's so minute. It's sad.
Our point is, where do you go to get professional real estate advice and information?
We'll start with this podcast. That's a great place to get it, right?
Yeah.
Lean into a real estate professional. Lean into somebody that's in your market where you want to buy a house.
May of 2020, so we're 2 months into COVID. I get an email from a local real estate agent, not Housewaysy, of course, and he's advising all his clients to sit tight. Do not buy real estate right now. Professional advice. Now, I looked up this guy's track record. Oh, he was hot. He sold an average of 2 houses every year for the last 5 years. 10's a bad month around here. Where do you go, and how do you vet your real estate agent?
I used to advise people, okay, if you were hiring a person, you worked at a company and you had to hire someone in a sales job, which this is sales, marketing, a little strategic planning, that sort of thing. How would you figure that out? Probably get a resume. You'd look at years of experience. You look at, are they in my industry, local? I wouldn't send a resume in for someone hiring an agent in Sacramento. I'd say, call the husband and wife team. Anyway, I've got agents all up and down the coast. I just talked to my good one down in Thousand Oaks area. And we were talking about, hey, how's the market down there? Yeah, pretty lean inventory. I go, here, if you don't price it right, you get punished pretty hard. She goes, it's exactly the same thing here. So I would say look at it like you're interviewing someone for a job. Now, if you just need some quick information, you go to the internet, you try, you can search houses. But if you're really considering something, you need to talk to a couple of people and evaluate just like you were hiring someone for a job. You check references, check experience. How did they do in their last job? Why did those types of things is what I would say. Same thing we do when we vet a tenant. What's their rental history? Do they have the income to support it? What do the people that worked with them before say? Those are the type of things you would look at.
My sister-in-law's, got a license. She runs her daycare center out of the house, and once the kids leave, she dabbles in the real estate business, and she wants to list my house for me, and she said, "Oh, shoot, I'll do it for less commission." How do you help people figure out that may not be the best way to go about this?
You're talking about more likely the largest asset you have to sell. If you're going to have open heart surgery, would you want the person that has done one their entire career, or two their entire career? You want the guy that's doing 2 to 3 a week, making sure that everything's done right. And if you're looking to take care of your sister, your cousin, whoever's got the license, I would say just lean into somebody that's doing it full time, and maybe see if that person's willing to pay your cousin, aunt, uncle, whoever it is, referral fee. So they aren't getting cut out of the deal completely, and they might even get some opportunity to be exposed to something that they haven't seen before. They can learn more about the industry, especially if they're new to it. Putting all of my trust and potential negotiating wants and needs on somebody that doesn't do that full time would be really concerning to me. Is it really about what you're paying or about what you get to put in your pocket that makes the difference? If you're working with a skilled negotiator, you're going to put more money in your pocket paying a higher commission because you're paying a professional, someone that does that for a living day in and day out, not someone who's doing it part-time. I think I would lean into somebody that's got the negotiating skills necessary to yield me the highest return on my investment.
Well, I'm not throwing rocks, and I know you're not either, at some people that are very fine people. But I just can't believe that a part-timer can do the job with the same confidence and competence that somebody who's I get here at 7 in the morning, I leave at 7 at night, versus I'll work when somebody calls me and wants to see a house.
Yeah. Well, the medical parallel is kind of interesting because if your part-time family member was a surgeon, they wouldn't work on you.
Wouldn't. Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah, too close. I
They
mean,
refer you out.
my orthopedic guy said, "Yeah, I've gotten to know you too well. I'm going to have somebody else do your, surgery."
Yeah.
But I'll be there. I'll be, watching and cheering. I don't know what he's going to do. I'll be asleep.
Hopefully.
But hopefully. Yeah.
If all goes according to plan.
Well, I can actually get it done cheaper if I don't get anesthesia. They said I can get a discount.
And in Mexico.
Why is that? Your cousin's an anesthesiologist?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I got a guy. Yeah. And then, oh boy. So you can't do surgery as a medical person unless you're supervised, you're trained, and that's the unfortunate part about real estate. That's what I like actually about Keller Williams. You at least have mentorship. They don't even let you wait on a table unless you've been trained by someone.
Totally. But,
Right.
but you take 3 classes online, pass a little state exam, and now you're practicing contract law in the state of California?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a question for John then, because if we're trying to figure out what's the best thing you look for in a real estate agent, you just helped your son buy a house in Seattle. What was the first thing you looked for? Was it volume?
I looked to Hal Swayze,
Okay.
and we'll be right back after this commercial time. I looked to Hal Swayze, and Hal, as he stated here a few minutes ago, has a network of professional agents all across the country. And so I don't know a soul in Seattle. So we got to an agent in Seattle that's in Hal's network. We were referred to her, and she helped us. And at the end of the deal, we were happy. You vet an agent. You find out what their track record is. We haven't done the numbers in a long time. Maybe you have, just haven't shared them, pal. But I remember a year ago, or maybe 18 months ago, we were looking at average sales price, and Hal's average sales price was 5 or 6 points above the average in the marketplace, which would indicate to me that Hal's negotiation skills are probably superior to most agents in the marketplace.
List to sale price, meaning the amount over the asking
Right.
price. Yeah.
Okay. But the point is, it's significant because it tells you about the agent. Hal was getting his clients more money on average than other agents. Would you be willing to pay Hal to do that for you? Of course.
I'm available, Jeff.
It's like it's
So my sister-in-law.
yeah.
that
You
wants-
haven't sent me a text message yet.
my sister-in-law that wants to cut me in for a half a point or a point less in commission, and Hal's getting 5 or 6 more. Don't think, Meech. You only hurt the team. Here we go again. Back in the 80s in the insurance industry, some people came. They invented this company selling life insurance, and everybody was a part-timer. And they came into the industry and they created a cancer in the industry. And it took those of us that were in it full time years to overcome the damage that they had done to the industry. I'm kind of raw to part-timers in professional businesses like this, personally.
The purpose of this podcast is to give information, right? So, and we all agree that contacting a realtor is the best bet. So for Jay and John, I live in Modesto. Okay, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready to talk to an agent yet. I want to look online. What do you guys suggest? I know you have alerts. I know you have places that you go. How would I get information started? If I'm going to look online, how do I get the correct information? I'm in Modesto and I want to move to Slow. Where do you start? I'm not ready to talk to Hal yet. I want to do some looking. What do I do?
The misnomer there is that you're not ready to buy. Why would you talk to a realtor, right? You're not ready. But the reality is that that's where you're going to get the most up-to-date and accurate information. Like, go there. Don't go to all of the aggregators that are pulling information that either might or might not be correct because they're trying to get eyeballs and sell subscriptions or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. Go to the agent whose foot is in the door. How many listings are you carrying right now, Hal?
12.
So 12 listings. So those listings came on the market, but you were preparing for them to be on the market before they hit the market. You want to be in front of people that know what's happening before it happens. They can give you information as it becomes live and active. So I would say, stay away from the aggregators and go to a real estate professional that's in the area that you want to be in, even though you're 2 years out. You're still going to get live info on the feed that they send you, and then you can watch what's happening in the market live and up to date, as opposed to somebody who's collecting data, scraping it from the world, and then trying to put it in a pretty package to put it online so you can see it, which real estate professionals do. They can give it directly to your inbox, so you don't have to go anywhere. It comes to you. What would it look like if you had a curated experience that was made for you, rather than having to go to some website to try and grab data. And that's really what happens when you solicit the guidance of a real estate professional earlier in the game.
So you're saying if I'm going to move next year or, in 12 months, I can call Hal and say, hey, I'm looking in 12 months to move to SLO?
I would defer to Hal to that, but I don't think he'd turn you down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so you're in fact-finding mode, right? So, yeah, we have that. And we just keep you posted on listings, and we don't, resell your information. We would love you to stay with us, but over time you might go, I found somebody else. But that's part of what a real estate agent does.
What year did you make available to your clients where we could get information from you automatically every week or every morning on new properties that came on the market? What year did that start? Do you remember? Was it in the early 2000s? Maybe
probably, yeah.
Through, I think you used Real Geeks or something like that at one time. Okay.
Yeah.
So whenever that started,
Right.
I started getting information from you every day
Right.
on properties in San Luis.
Yeah, we set you up on a search. Yeah, that's what we call it. Yeah.
And
Thank you.
James, I was never in the market until I was. I was always studying the market, and I wasn't in the market. Property came along, boom, 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 boom. Hal, I want to see this property. So I'm never in the market. I'm always in the market. I'm always getting ready.
Hal brought up a good point, and I think it's imperative to it'd be ridiculous not to mention it, and that is that where do those aggregators, they're giving you, in quotations here, a service. Is anything for free? Is there any such thing as a free lunch? No. What are they doing? Where are they getting paid? They're getting paid off of you registering and looking for their information. So they're selling your data. When you talk to a real estate professional and have them provide you the information, they don't want anybody else to know who you are. It stays close. It stays close to their business model. They're not selling your data to anybody. And so if you want a little bit of autonomy, professionalism, and knowledge that your data isn't going to be sold to every single other realtor, lender, insurance carrier, anybody that wants to and buy your data to try and sell you a service, talk to a real estate professional. They keep it in-house. My phone rings 25 times a day with people calling to offer me services. And I'm thinking about getting a separate phone, getting a new phone line so I can just scratch it and start over. It's annoying.
Great way to answer my question. I appreciate that.
You know what? I do want to circle back, John. The whole premise of our podcast here start was like, where do you get your information? And we were talking about the 4.5 million viewer
45
article.
million.
45 million. Dang. Wow. And the biggest harm that can come from that, if I'm a buyer, right? If I'm thinking I need to get into a home, I've outgrown my home, I'm looking at properties, I'm kind of on the fence, I don't know if I can stretch that far, but I really want to, and I'm in that space. I read that article, I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute, maybe I can get a wholesale deal. Maybe I'll wait until all these foreclosures happen. Now that information has it affected my decision, and it's injured my next step. It's crippled me into making the choice to buy because I need a house now, realize all that appreciation over the next few years, and so it actually harms the consumer.
Jay, you bring up a great point. Back 15, 20 years ago, in the corporate world in America, you heard the term data-driven decisions. And so they use data to make decisions rather than how we used to make them in business, which was how?
Our gut.
Yeah. Okay, so now you're gonna shift from, making your decisions by what you think and feel to data, and you get bad data. What are the chances you make a good decision?
Yeah. They evaporate, yeah. It's in the ether.
The end.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time.
Mic drop.
The buzz term of the last 3 years seems like the misinformation. This is the perfect example of misinformation. This article
it's true.
True.
The information is
misleading.
True.
I'm sorry.
Is misleading as all get out.
Yes.
Yeah, it's misleading.
Sad.
Right.
James, start planning now. If you're 2 years away, brother, we want you to get a house.
Yeah. If I want to just stay in contact with you and I just want to get information, some emails, what do you offer? What can people do? If they're a year out, 2 years out, and I live, in the Central Valley or wherever, I want some info on San Luis Obispo. What do I do?
Yeah. Like if somebody's thinking of buying, they come to me from wherever. We just had somebody today. In their price range, there's one house for sale. I'll send you that. There's nothing to buy. I send them other homes that have recently sold. That's a good example. Here's what you can get. And they go, oh, okay, if this type of place came up, I'd like that. Obviously, information on houses, information on locations, information on the best type of financing, how to get an inspection done. So it really depends what they're looking for, but we give them a lot of options to determine what's best for them. So it's a conversation we have.
Most people that are looking to buy here are visiting here. And while they're here, we would love to meet with them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, we meet them. Yeah.
You know, face to face, put a name and a face together and build a relationship so that they, believe in our credibility and begin to trust us as a great professional advisor.
Yeah.
Like you go into a store, I want to buy a shirt or something, a clothing store. I go in and the clerk says, "Can I help you?" I said, no, I don't really want to be sold something I don't want. So there's that fear, when people call, because, and I would say there's not that many aggressive real estate agents that are just going to bug you all the time. So for most of them, they're just going to give you the information you need. So some may never follow up again. Others may be more aggressive than you need. We're always taking the temperature of folks to okay, like I said earlier, you're in the fact finding. Good. We'll give you the facts, give you information. When you get closer, when you need more information, let us know. But for now, you can learn about the marketplace. And then sometimes it's like they come in and go, no, we really want to buy a house right away, or we really need to get this thing going. Okay, well, let's jump to that. So that's all about answering the questions. But the fear that people have is somebody's going to be all over me. If they are, just say no thanks, right? But don't be shy about reaching out to someone that you feel might be a good fit for you.
Thank you very much. Fun podcast today. We will see everybody next week.
We'll be here.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you for listening to the House Swayze podcast. Be sure to subscribe and rate this podcast. It comes out every Monday, so check for it in your feed for the latest information on the San Luis Obispo County market. The Slow County Real Estate with House Swayze podcast is available wherever you get your podcast and on houseswayze.com, where you can find current listings and other real estate tips. Houseswayze.com, that's HALSWEASEY.com. I am James Bueno, Director of Marketing for the House Swayze Group. If you're looking for anything real estate, give us a call, 805-781-3750.
House Swayze is a licensed California real estate broker. DRE number 01111-911. The Slow County Real Estate with House Swayze podcast is a production of AGM Podcasts. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.